this week on Sibriv.
Like when I get to know someone or I meet a new person or anything, I always say, like, what are your top 5 movies, top 5 TV shows, top songs? It just like really helps to kind of get to know the person. So
Al Pacino walking in on his wife cheating on him. I mean, just everything about that movie.
Everything about that movie.
Crazy.
Yeah. She's got a great ass, and you got your head all the way up it.
Food, sports, TV.
yeah. And this is my favorite layout when the three of us are like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other one's too close to my face.
Yeah, I try to change it throughout the show. Just
I don't like that one.
To create
You like
different-
this one?
I like this one.
Welcome, everybody, to episode 15 of the Sib Riv podcast. I am Dana, and I am joined here by my little sister, Michelle,
Hey.
and my big brother, Dave.
Good afternoon.
How are you guys doing this week?
Good.
And
Yeah.
You guys wonder why I want to skip the pleasantries. Should we do a... do we need to do a Karen Reed update this week?
No.
Closing arguments were made.
Yes, they were made. We are on Verdict Watch 2025.
Interesting.
So I just want to say, because I've been watching the trial all along, I will say that the last, Dr. Rentschler, the last defensive witness, I've had conflicting feelings about, but I thought he made some really strong arguments this time versus his first time in trial number 1, because this time he actually did real life experiments, whereas last time it was like theoretical stuff with like a cannon and stuff like that. This time he was actually using crash
Yes.
dummies and stuff.
See, I only have this trial to go off of.
Yeah.
I didn't
so the
watch
last
the
one,
last trial.
the last one,
So
I
it's
was
actually
skeptical
better.
on his. But what I will say is, some of his testimony has contradicted what I've been hearing from the Free Karen Reed crowd for 2 years. Like when I
So-
mentioned, go ahead, Dave.
I was just going to say, you guys have 3 minutes to talk about this topic. I am watching the clock. Continue.
Yeah. Oh, I was just gonna give the props. I thought that he did. I thought he was a very credible witness. I thought he did much better than the first time because he did more realistic experiments that really resembled what likely could have happened if that's the way it went down. And just like I said, the how it kind of contradicted some of the arguments I've heard from Free Karen Reed crowd is like when you point out the damage to the taillight, they say, on the one hand, they'll say it was from that little bump that she did to John's car in the morning. On the other hand, they'll say that there's no way that hitting him could have caused that much damage to the car. Well, then his experiments prove that that's false. It actually could do that type of damage to the car. In fact, it did even more damage to the car in a couple of the experiments they did. So
Yeah, I saw that.
the thing that's the Commonwealth's going to have a problem with is the trajectory.
2 minutes.
The trajectory of where he went, which we can talk about another time, I guess, because Dave's done with this. But
No, you can continue. You got another minute and change.
My only take on the closing arguments was I thought that Jackson did a better job than Brennan.
did much better. Yep, I agree.
His was just more engaging. I was more. I don't know. It just
thing is,
flowed
the problem
really
is
well.
you have to
I don't
look
know.
at
I just
the
liked
problem
his
is
better.
you have to look at the evidence. I mean, Jackson's very persuasive. That's the thing. and
He
that's-
is. He's
I
very
know,
good at
like
what
human
he does.
psychology. He's very persuasive.
He's
so
very good at what he does.
I can
So
see this
we'll
being.
see.
I can see her getting off, and I can see this being a hung jury again. I don't think she's ever going to be
Yeah,
found
I don't
guilty.
know.
I see an
don't know.
endless. Either she's going to be found innocent, or there's just going to be an endless cycle of mistrials.
Did she take the stand?
No.
So
But
she'll give
they-
all these interviews, but she doesn't go on the stand?
Yeah,
Oh,
but the
that's-
prosecution was able to put some of her clips, like unedited clips from all these interviews and everything that she
Yeah.
did, into evidence as exhibits and stuff. So it'll be interesting to see what
Yeah.
the jury comes up with.
Yeah.
I'm
I mean,
very,
there's just the problem is
who
like
knows?
the problem
it could
is
go either way.
the problem with everyone that thinks she's clearly innocent is like you have to remember the biases you have where you had 2 years straight of nothing but things coming from the defensive side. So you already have these built-in biases to think that she was framed and she's innocent. So that when you see the evidence that contradicts that, you just automatically don't believe it because you already have this built-in bias.
I
30
only
seconds.
heard slight things about it, and even now I'm hearing things of like that people hear from so and so. I heard from this, I heard from that. I'm not counting that towards what I think happened. I'm really trying to just focus on what they said in court because that's
Yeah.
what the jurors are gonna have. So I've tried to just base how I would do it or how I would find her. You know, like based on what they said in court.
I
So
will be happy when we don't have to hear her name ever again. Which I hope that she doesn't become sort of some sort of big star after this. I hope
who
that
knows?
she disappears into the sunset and we don't have to hear from her again.
She'll get a Netflix show.
Yeah.
Please
Any
no.
update on the mushroom lady?
No, I haven't
Oh,
checked.
okay.
But yeah, maybe I'll have an update next week because they should be wrapping up that trial as well. They were saying it was going to be 6 weeks, and it started right at the beginning of May. So
Oh, okay.
That said, as we're recording this, it is Father's Day, so happy Father's Day to everyone. Yesterday
Yes,
when we
Happy
happy
released this,
Father's
but
Day.
happy Father's Day to all the dads out there
And the dog dads.
and the dog dads.
all right. So, Michelle, why don't you tell us about our topic today?
So we're going to be going over our top 5. Like when I get to know someone or I meet a new person or anything, I always say like what are your top 5 movies, top 5 TV shows, top songs. It just like really helps to kind of get to know the person. So I thought it would be fun if we did that. So we are breaking down our top 5 TV shows, movies, food and drink items and sports athletes today.
Hope you guys. I've been working on my list. I hope you guys have been working on your list all week.
I got my list right here.
Awesome. Okay, good. We're prepared for this episode. No messing around. All right, so Michelle, I figured we could start with foods because we can probably get through that pretty quickly. So
Yes.
as we each, so I told the siblings before we started recording that the way I made my list is I started with number 1 as my absolute favorite thing, and then everything else is like kind of in no particular order. And I assume they kind of went with the same thing. So we can start with each of us giving our 5, and then going backwards to our favorite. So. Michelle, this is your episode, so why don't you start with your top 5 favorite food or drink item?
Okay, so my top, actually, you know what? For food, I forgot to put them in any sort of order. So this is actually my number 1. Hold on. Sorry, I did it for everything else, but my foods I just listed. I'm like, oh, I love this, I love that, I love this, I love that, I love this. So my number 5, is chicken and fries. I love old school teenage chicken and French fries, barbecue sauce on the side. And then because these are all no particular order. Cadbury mini eggs.
Hold on.
Oh,
David's
oh,
number
oh.
5.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go. Okay, like Christmas presents.
Oh.
Got
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
So,
come on, are you a member of this family? I mean, give me a break. Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah. So my number again, I have a number 1. Everything else is in no particular order. So strawberry shortcake would be
Oh.
with the angel food cake, not the biscuit. That's just wrong. No.
All right, so far, none of us have the same thing on our list because I don't have either of those. For number 5 for me, I went with a bacon cheeseburger.
Oh, nice. It's so hard to make a top 5 of food. I'm such a foodie. It's
Oh, really?
like,
I flew through this. This is the list I thought was really easy.
oh my
All
god.
right, Michelle, how about your number 4?
Cadbury mini eggs.
Okay.
Anyone that knows me knows that's like one of my main food groups. I know that is a candy, but
Yeah, I'm just stipulating. We might have one that's a drink, and I'll put drink. Dave, how about your number 4?
Actually, the same.
really?
Ooh.
Must run in the family. Yeah.
Yay!
I love Cadbury mini eggs. They did not make my list.
Oh,
But they're going to go on the honorable mention list because 2 out of 3 of
was-
them. So
That was
they're going on the
that
server
was-
of honorable mentions.
That is something that when I was a kid, Mom would always give me when it was always a big deal when they
Yes.
when the season came around and they were on sale. Yeah.
Yep.
So number 4 for me, I'm going to go with a steak dinner. Could be steak tips, could be a flank steak or London broil. I just went with steak in general, a steak dinner. Michelle, number
Okay.
3.
Shoelace licorice. Like the
Shoelace.
thin, yeah, like the thin you get it at like the candy stores, like the old-fashioned candy stores. Not like I mean, I love Twizzlers too, but my preferred ones are the thin shoelace licorice that you get at old-fashioned candy stores.
Okay.
Also a
David,
candy.
number 3.
Very basic pizza.
Pizza was
Oh.
would have been like an honorable mention for me, but because pizza is up there. But I was like, I think I was like, as I was going through my list, I was like, I think I like all these more than pizza, even though pizza would actually make it.
Yeah, pizza
So
you can do a lot with.
number 3 for me, I have coffee.
Oh yeah, duh. That's not on my list. How is that not
I'm
on my
gonna
list?
stipulate
What
drink
is-
because you didn't have coffee on your list. Are you
I
kidding me?
know. Because I wasn't I was thinking more food. I actually have no beverages on my list. I was
Wow.
thinking food more than food and drink.
Oh,
Oh my word. What is wrong with me? So Dave, does that mean you have coffee on your list the way you're looking at me right now?
all right, Michelle, number 2.
Ribs, but like the really good long smoked ribs that like fall off the bone and
Mike's
melt in your mouth.
6
Yes.
hour ribs.
Exactly. Exactly.
They were delicious.
They were.
All right, Dave, number 2.
Red wine. Doesn't matter what kind. You can give me a Cab, a Merlot, a Zinfandel. As long as it's red, I don't like white.
Wow.
Like Tyrion Lannister, I like to drink and know things.
Well, my number 2 is Diet Coke.
Oh, yep.
So far, we don't have anything on our Sibriv approved list, which is interesting.
Is that 3 for 3?
What do you mean?
Two. It says 3 for 3. Does that mean all 3 of us need to have it?
Yeah,
in
all
order-
3 of us have to
Got
have
it, okay.
Sibriv approved. 2 out of 3
Oh.
gets honorable mention.
Got it. Okay.
So we're on our number 1s. We might have some overlap here, but we'll find out.
Okay. My number 1 is steak. Like from like a Ruth's Chris
Steak,
or
okay.
like from a delicious steakhouse.
I'm gonna guess that's gonna be an honorable mention because I'm gonna guess that Dave does not have steak on his. Okay, so
Nope.
steak will go on honorable mentions.
All right.
So we got 2 honorable mentions. Well, maybe not. We'll see what Dave says for number 1.
Coffee.
Coffee. Okay.
Can't believe I didn't put coffee on my list.
Yeah, I think that would be Sibriv approved if you had.
Duh. What is wrong with me?
So coffee's gonna go on honorable mentions.
I should have made a food and a beverage list. Lame.
Which means we have no Sibriv approved. Oh, and my number 1, I put chicken ziti and broccoli. Specifically, Mom's chicken ziti and broccoli. But
Nice.
if I can learn how to spell chicken. All right, so Michelle's got steak, ribs, shoelace licorice, Cadbury mini eggs, chicken and fries. Dave's got coffee, red wine, pizza, Cadbury mini eggs, strawberry shortcake. I've got chicken ziti and broccoli, Diet Coke, coffee, steak dinner, bacon cheeseburger. For honorable mentions, which means 2 out of 3 of us put these on our list: Cadbury mini eggs, steak, and coffee.
Nice.
Coffee was almost the Sibriv approved, but Chili had a
I
brain
don't-
fart.
But
I just don't even know. Like, but look at my list. There's not one beverage. I didn't
That's
even
true.
think. I took
Yeah.
beverages completely out of
Even
the
though it was
equation. I don't know
specifically
why.
said
I
food
know.
or drink.
I know. I know. I don't know why I didn't. Like, it's what I start my morning with literally every day. I don't understand how I didn't put it on, but whatever.
Okay, well, why don't we go on to athletes? And I think we should let Dave go first on his athlete list. Not number 1.
Okay.
We'll start from number 5.
Right, yeah. So before I give you my number 5, I have 2 honorable mentions for athletes, just for me personally. So the first honorable mention would be Dwight Evans, who played right field for the Red Sox. And he was my favorite baseball player growing up. I actually got to meet him. He, with like every other kid in town, he went to Rockland Trust and did a signing. He signed my glove. So that was my lucky baseball glove. My other honorable mention is Dennis Johnson. Played for the Celtics back in the 80s. So those are my two honorables. My number 5 might be a surprise to Dana, maybe to Michelle too. Would be Scottie Pippen.
Scottie Pippen.
Yes, back in the day, even though I hated the Chicago Bulls, I always really, really liked Scottie Pippen more than Jordan.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Michelle, how about you?
Matthew Slater. I
Oh,
should
first
also
off, do you have number 5? Do you have 5 or do you have less? That's
No,
what we
I,
should
d-
talk.
I did come up with
You
5.
came
I
up with
was
5.
just gonna
Okay.
say, let me preface this with I am not one to have like a favorite athlete. So I really struggled to come up with 5 people that I would put on a list. So just bear with me. Most of them are Boston players, but
Any reason why you put Scottie Pippen? I mean, Matthew Slater on as your number 5?
I just think he is the ultimate team player, class act, on and off the field. He's local. I mean, he was with the Patriots for a long time, was on special teams, wasn't like a huge part, but was a big part of the Patriots, and just seems like a really nice person. Like that's why I put him on my list.
Okay. So mine, I actually had a hard time coming up with 5 just because I had so many on my list. So what I try to do is try to like make sure I had someone representing basically each sport, which put me at a real disadvantage. I don't know. I was like torn. I was like, should I be going with like the greatest of all time, or should I be going just with my personal favorite? Because for basketball, I was a toss up between Michael Jordan and Kobe. I love Kobe Bryant. He was actually my favorite basketball player. But I gave the edge to Michael Jordan, just because of just how important he was to the game. But Kobe, for the length of his career, was my favorite player. I think he was like one of the most talented players coming right out of high school. All like pretty dominant. All the championships he won, the leader he was. Obviously had some issues off the court, but spent the second part of his career trying to make good on that and trying to like recalibrate and remake his life and be a better person for everyone. I just think that all around, I mean, I think it was a tremendous loss to everyone when he died. So Kobe, I guess I'd have to put as an honorable mention, even though technically he was like my favorite basketball player, and I gave the edge to Michael Jordan.
Yeah, I mean, he changed the way that people have all their sponsorships now and their not sponsorships. What are those called? Like your deals with Nike.
Endorsements.
Thank you,
Endorsements.
endorsements.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I just so you guys know, I didn't go with who I thought was like necessarily the best. I went with my personal favorites,
Okay.
like people that I really enjoyed watching and just kind of admired. So,
Yeah.
Okay,
all right. Is it my turn again?
go for it, Dave.
Number 4, Alexander Ovechkin.
Oh, I knew
One
he
of
was
my
going to be
favorite
on your
hockey
list.
players. Yeah. I've been so when Ovi broke in to the league back in 2005, because there was a lockout season when he was drafted. Because he was technically drafted, I think, in 04. But I was living in Virginia at that time. So regionally, they were always showing the Caps games on cable. So I got to see him from the very beginning of his career. So, yeah, but still one of my favorite hockey players.
A good choice. He would have been one of my honorable mentions as well.
I know who he is.
I would hope so.
I would hope so, yeah.
Do you want my next? Oh wait, yeah. Do you want my next one?
Sure.
Brad Marchand.
He's been on fire lately.
I know. I'm really sad he's not a Bruin anymore.
It is
But
depressing.
he is playing very well.
It sucks seeing him in that uniform.
It does. It hurts a little bit, but
All right. So I guess same thing. Mine's like as far as like choosing between greatest of all time or like my personal favorites. This is another toss up. Because I actually, truly admire Wayne Gretzky. I'm gonna give him an honorable mention, and I'm gonna put Patrice Bergeron as my number 4 because he's my favorite Bruin of all time. I also think he's one of the greatest Bruins of all time. So I'm giving Patrice Bergeron number 4.
I think Mike would agree with you on that. Bergeron was his favorite as well. I think.
Which brings us to number 3, David.
All right, still going with the hockey players, I guess. My number three would be, as much as I do, obviously recognize how great Wayne Gretzky was. Again, my favorite player was another person who kind of played second fiddle to him on the team, and that would be Mark Messier. And I'll tell you, I was watching a game in 1992 on ESPN. It was the New York Rangers versus the Pittsburgh Penguins, and Messier was playing for the Rangers at the time. And what made me really like him? Do you guys remember who's the guy that injured Neely? Ulf. What was his last name?
Samuelson.
Ulf Samuelson. He was a dirty player. He basically caused Neely an injury that ended up really derailing Neely's career. So knowing that, watching this game, Messier beat the living snot out of Samuelson after a dirty hit. And I was just like, that's the man right there. But he was also a very, very skilled player as well. And, obviously I was a big fan of the New York Oilers in 1994 because they had so many former Oilers players on their team, including Messier. So you guys probably remember those days. I was all about the Rangers back then. They were stacked. That team was stacked. They were so fun to watch. But yeah.
And Michelle.
Simone Biles was my number three.
Any particular reason?
I just always loved watching the gymnast. Even when I was a kid watching the Olympics, that was one of my favorite events, that and swimming. But just, she is what she can do, and just what she has gone through, with her mental health. And I really like her.
My number three was Tiger Woods. Shockingly enough, I'm putting a golf player on here. Tiger Woods would be the only reason I would watch golf tournaments. He was, in his prime, completely dominant, probably perhaps more dominant than any other player in their prime for an extended period of time. Obviously, there was that period where the crap hit the fan. But I just think for the length of time he was in his prime, I can't think of any other golfer that was winning more and as dominant as he was.
Do you think he'll play again? I know he's had some surgery,
Yeah,
back and leg stuff.
I mean, certainly not the same level.
Yeah.
But I mean, maybe you'll see him on the senior tour sometime. I don't know.
All right.
Dave?
So number two, if this is not Sibriv approved, I'm going to disown you both as my siblings. Number two would be Tom Brady. I don't think I need to explain why.
I can't even believe. I'm actually surprised that's number two, but
Same.
Oh, no. I don't think you guys will have any idea who my number one is.
I actually don't. If Tom Brady's not your number one, I don't know.
Same.
They
You want to make the argument for why he's number two and not number
they are a hometown athlete, my number one.
Okay.
And I also met them
Oh.
in a manner of speaking. So
Okay.
Interesting.
Well, my number two is Julian Edelman. And do I have to explain that? I mean,
Sure. Go ahead. I mean, well, if you want to.
just that one catch alone where he scoops in. He should open a restaurant called Ellerman's Catch, where he just got under the ball and saved the day. Love him, and he's just fun. I follow his Instagram, and he just seems like he would be fun to hang out with.
I struggled between number one and number two. They were obviously going to be number one and number two, but I had to give the edge for how much joy the championships Tom Brady brought me. So number two, I am giving to David Ortiz, my favorite Red Sox of all time.
Oh, yeah.
Responsible for the greatest sporting moment I've ever attended in person with the game that I brought Mike to for the ALCS Game 2 when he hit the Grand Slam.
Yep, you guys hugged. You were hugging random strangers.
Random strangers.
Yes.
I mean, it was the craziest thing I've ever witnessed in person at a sports event. And I mean, just the moments that he gave Boston, the clutch he came. Is there any playoff player we've had that was more clutch than David Ortiz? And I mean, he was steady and solid throughout the regular season, and then it was the playoffs. He had this whole new gear that he turned on. It was crazy. So he was super important. Boston through and through. I can't think of a
True.
better someone to better represent the Red Sox than David Ortiz. So that was my number 2. Which brings us to the number 1s.
Yes, Dave, I'm dying.
number
Who's your
one.
number 1?
My number 1 is, again, hometown, fought out of Brockton. Legitimately, no.
No.
Nope.
Okay.
Wrong one.
All right.
Although he did also fight out of Brockton.
Yes, he did. I automatically assumed.
No, this athlete, I legitimately, since I've been a kid, I thought this guy was legit the baddest motherfucker to ever walk the planet. And that would be Marvelous Marvin Hagler, who is without a doubt one of the greatest boxers of all time.
Boxing. Okay.
1G. 1G.
It's just 1G?
Yeah, it's just 1G. If you haven't done this, go on YouTube.
I watched it. You told me to watch it. I watched it.
Yeah, go on YouTube, Shell, and just type in Hagler Hearns round 1. It's a 3-round fight, but round 1 is just amazing. Like if you watched Mike Tyson, Jake Paul fight each other, quote
I
unquote.
did not. Yeah.
Okay. So it you look back at boxing in the 80s and it is so much different than it is these days. Like it is a whole other level. And during the 80s, there were a ton of great middleweight fighters. Obviously people would say Hagler maybe wasn't the best, but to me, I think he was definitely one of the best. And when I was in 5th grade, this was shortly after he lost that fight to Sugar Ray Leonard. I was with some friends at Little Peach.
Little
and
Peach. Forgot about that store.
we walked out of Little Peach because we'd gotten some candy, and this Porsche rolls up, and Marvelous comes out, and we're all like staring at each other. He went in, he comes back out, and I was like, "You got robbed, Marvelous!" And he turned around and he flashed me a big smile and gave a thumbs up, and then just rolled away.
Oh, that's cute. All right, so it's Hagler. Is it Hearns? Hearns?
Hearns.
All right, round 1. You said
round 1.
Round 1. Okay, I will Google it, YouTube it. Yes, my number 1 was Tom Brady. Yeah,
I'm just settling this because I know what it's going to be. So
yeah, he was definitely my number 1. I was devastated when he left. Like, I think he's maybe a little weird outside of football, but like as far as what he did for football and just watching him play, loved it. Loved what he did for the Patriots.
Tom Brady is the lone SIBRIV approved athlete. And
I'm not really surprised by that.
And our list was wildly different. Otherwise, there's no honorable mentions. But yeah, I gave Tom Brady number 1 as well. Literally the greatest football player to ever touch a pigskin.
Yeah.
Mentally, physically, I mean, just
yeah. I mean,
obviously he wasn't like a speedster or whatever, but just his performance on the field, his accuracy, his durability, the length of time. I mean, 20 plus years of playing in the NFL.
He lives and breathes football, though. I mean, that is his entire life.
Yeah. Greatest, not just the greatest quarterback, the greatest football player ever to live.
Yeah.
Just because of the length of time. Hey, Cannoli, I hear you barking up there. So list recap: Michelle's top 5: Matthew Slater, Brad Marchand, Simone Biles, Julian Edelman, Tom Brady. Dave's top 5: Scottie Pippen, Alex Ovechkin, Mark Messier, Tom Brady, and Marvin Hagler, which I knew, but I forgot. You said Brockton and it threw me off. I saw I type in Rocky Marciano. But my top 5: Michael Jordan, Patrice Bergeron, Tiger Woods, David Ortiz, Tom Brady. Which brings us to our next category. Do we want to do TV shows or do we want to do movies? I guess we'll do TV because I got it queued up.
You got it up.
Okay. TV.
All right. All right, Michelle. Number 5.
TV. Chicago PD. I have a lot of honorable mentions too because I feel like it's worth mentioning some shows that maybe aren't my top 5, but are definitely worth the watch, and I think people should watch them.
I've got 3 of those. I got
Chicago. I got Chicago PD and Chicago Fire on my honorable mentions list, but not on my top 5. Any particular reason why it made the list?
I just really love those characters, and I do watch all the other Chicago shows too. But I just really love that show, and I love trying to figure out with them like who did it, what happened. I just
And
it's
don't forget
like
who got you into those shows. It was me
I
and
know.
Caitlin.
Yeah, right at the start of the
You and Mike.
pandemic,
You
we
and
were
Mike weren't
standing
gonna.
on the sidewalk. You guys were on the porch because we had to social distance, and we were like, "What is everyone watching? What are we doing with this time?"
Dave, number 5.
Yeah, my number 5 would be Supernatural.
Oh,
That's surprising.
I've never
That was
seen
a
it.
it was a really good show. I mean, it was on for like 15 seasons. I'd say the first 5 were like top quality. I mean, the rest of it was good, but yeah, it's a great show. Um,
That was on
and
the CW, right? Like
Yes. It
originally
was.
when
Yeah.
the
It
CW. Yeah,
was.
okay.
But it was a good show about like brothers and
Mm.
family also. So
Is it Michelle friendly? We should have made a Michelle friendly
I
category.
I think it's Michelle friendly. It's not like it doesn't go into like horror or anything like
Okay.
that. I mean, like you
Okay.
said, it was a CW show, so it's not like disturbing or anything,
Okay. Okay.
you know.
All right.
So my 5, I was going back and forth on 5 and this honorable mention for number 6, but I'm gonna give Downton Abbey an honorable mention that almost made the list. And maybe it's just because it's recency and me and Caitlin just finished binging it. So my number 5 is going to be The Newsroom from HBO.
I'm not. That doesn't surprise me at all. That's a good show.
I think that that Michelle, Mom loves this show too, but because I had introduced her, that was like the first show. Every week, we would watch an episode of a show, and we went through a list of shows that we watched, and that was like the first one that we binged. There's another list that we binged that was like her favorite that we watched together. That's on my top 5, which I'll talk about. But The Newsroom, she liked a lot as well.
Yeah.
And I just think that if you've never seen The Newsroom and you've always wondered what it's like to work in a newsroom, it's fairly accurate, obviously sensationalized for TV, but they cover everything. It's always, anytime I've watched it, I think, wow, this is so relevant to things going on right now. I mean, from them misreporting news and getting things wrong to, trying to wait as long as possible to make sure they get it right. And like, it's just, everything is like, and then, the political climate, you realize that we always think that everything's really bad. And then you see that even back then, nothing was really that different. It
is a good show.
Yeah, it's a very
Dave,
good
have
show.
you seen it?
Mm-mm.
Oh, it's
I have
good. It's
not.
definitely worth a watch for sure.
And then you tie in the fact that there's a lot of character development. I mean, it only lasted 3 seasons and they're
I
short
was just
seasons.
gonna say it's a quick
But
watch too.
because they're short seasons, every episode's important. They take real news events that actually happened and they frame their stories around those real news events.
Mm-hmm.
It's super, super entertaining.
Agreed.
That brings us to Michelle. Yep, go ahead, Michelle.
How I Met Your Mother, which you can abbreviate. You can do HIMYM. It's him.
Okay. How I Met Your Mother. Why?
I just love a friend group. The thing I will say is season 9 is really hard to get through. Most of the time, I do not rewatch season 9. I stop and I go back to season 1. Like I just did it last night because this is my current like bedtime show that I fall asleep to right now. I have not watched season 9. I don't know how long. I literally stop at the end of season 8 and I go back because it's just not as good. I didn't really care for the ending. It's really hard to end a TV show, but they have some really funny moments. I love Jason. Oh my God, Jason
Segel.
Segel. Thank
Jason
you.
Segel.
Yeah, love him. So that's a good show. I love that show. Neil Patrick Harris. I mean, it's just great. It's a great show.
All right, Dave.
Interestingly enough, my number 4 is also How I Met Your Mother. Yeah.
Honorable mention.
Yeah. I know, Shell, you're going to disagree with me on this one, but I will always and forever be on Team Victoria. I really think that's who we should have ended up with.
Same. I mean, I could go on and on about this, but I think Robin was the worst choice, like for him to even date. Like, I don't want to spoil it whether he ends up with her or not, but just like rewatching it, I'm like, she's not the. Why he thinks that she's the perfect person for him? They have nothing in common. They
Nothing
didn't
in
want the
common.
same things. I'm like, how can you be so in love with this person who you claim is the person for you, but you have nothing in common? It drives me crazy.
But I mean, in defense of the show, that is kind of Ted's character. He is very unrealistic.
Oh,
There's several times during the show where Robin herself points out everything you just said to him.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
It it it's interesting you say that about season 9 because I actually like a lot of season 9.
Oh.
I'm not wild about the ending.
I
That's
don't like
all.
season 9 because of how they break it down. I wish we had gotten more of how the ending came to be instead of like this is 1 hour till the wedding, like 4 hours till the wedding, 53. I hated that breakdown. I would have rather just a normal season, and maybe like flash forwards or backwards to the wedding. I don't know. I just didn't. I hate season 9. And the rhyming episode is so hard to watch. The one
It
where,
is, yeah.
oh, it like makes my skin crawl. I can't. Yeah, that's why I just start over. I do have a favorite episode from that show, which is the glass shattering one, Dave. I don't know if you
Yeah.
love that
I love that
one.
one. That is
That
really
is a
good.
good. That is a very good episode.
See,
But
Yeah.
see, having an entire season that I would just disregard would automatically knock it out of my top 5 list.
oh, I can't because I
that's how I feel
rewatch it
about
all the time.
that's how I feel about Community. Community is one of my favorite shows of all time.
That
Yeah.
is a
But
great
just
show.
because of one season where they fired Dan Harmon and the episodes were like fell way off. I
Community
took
you
that
don't have in your top
I
5.
took
I
it out of
thought
my
for sure that would be
I
in
took it
your
out of my top 5.
five.
I can't
Wow.
I can't have a show in my top 5 where I just completely write off a season. Same thing with Lost. Lost would have been on there.
Wow.
Like like Lost had like 2 seasons. I could have completely done without. So
Wow.
I took Lost off of there too.
Actually, I took Community out for the same reason because
Yeah, so-
it was
Really? See,
it got really bad really quickly.
So maybe we can put Community as an honorable mention because it is worth a watch. But yeah, I couldn't put it in my top 5 knowing that I would write off a whole entire season.
I mean, for a while when I was doing rewatches of How I Met Your Mother, I did watch season 9. It's been within the last probably year that I'm like, ugh, when it gets to season 9, I'm not doing it. Like, we're just going back to season. Because honestly, this is my I fall asleep show. Like, that's how well I know it. Like, I could probably recite most of it. It's like, I watch it all the time. So that's why I'm like, I'll just skip season 9. It doesn't matter. But it's still in my top because it's one of my favorites. What can you do?
My number 4 was one of my favorite shows of all
Oh,
time,
yeah.
and also Mom's favorite of the shows that we watch together, which is like surprising if you watch it that you would think Mom really liked that show, but she loved it. She loved Derek, which is a Ricky Gervais show from the UK, available on Netflix. It's only a couple seasons, also short episodes, short watch. Takes place in a nursing home. It's like basically The Office in a nursing home. Ricky Gervais plays Derek, who's like a lovable autistic type character, although he never explicitly says it. It's just a funny show with a big heart. It's like you laugh, you cry, you suffer, go through all the emotions in that show. Even with someone like the despicable, unlikable characters that can be in that show, Mom still somehow, she always said it was her favorite show. I think it's because of Derek himself, the character, always wanting to see the best in people, no matter what.
That
Probably
tracks.
has something to do with it. But yeah, it's just one of my favorite shows. I could watch that show. There's literally every show from here on out I could watch endlessly. So, but yeah. Number 3, Shelley.
Friends. Love
All right,
Friends.
make your case.
Oh, I mean, come on. Like, again, a friend group I love. Ross and Rachel, will they, won't they, the best. Chandler, I mean, no one could have played Chandler the way Matthew Perry did. Oh, I love that show. And that was like a show that Mom and I would watch, Thursday nights on I think it's NBC, but
Aside from Seinfeld, it was one of the first sitcoms I watched religiously. I have fond memories of watching Friends with Aunt Sally and
Yeah.
Uncle Dana on
Yeah.
Friday nights.
yeah.
So I have somewhat of an attachment to it, but I couldn't put it in my top. I don't even know if it's really in my top 10, honestly. I do
That's
think it's
also one
funny,
of
and
my. I have rewatched that over and over and over and over. Like from How I Met Your Mother on, I have rewatched these shows countless times. I can't. I have lost count. It's got to be in the hundreds or thousands of how many times I've seen some of these shows. I'm a TV junkie. What can I say?
David, number 3.
Number 3, The X-Files.
Ooh.
And I would say I even like the later seasons where, even when David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson left and they introduced the new characters of John Doggett and Monica Reyes, I still liked that show. So
you're really into sci-fi, because isn't Supernatural and X-Files in the sci-fi
Supernatural is
genre?
kind of
Okay.
sci-fi stuff. Yeah.
I still remember when
I like
those box
go ahead,
sets.
Dan.
I still remember the
Yeah.
box sets when the X Files first came out. They were always like the coolest box sets.
Yeah. It was just, I mean, it wasn't just like the sci-fi stuff, but like the just like the government conspiracy aspect of it all was just something that I really liked. So yeah. Kind of right up my alley.
Dana?
My number 3 is The Sopranos.
Oh, I've never seen it.
Such a good show. Really monumental HBO show. One of the first, I think it's probably the first HBO drama I ever got into. It was certainly the first show that ever made me personally root for a bad guy.
Oh, I love a
Tony
show
Soprano.
like that.
Yeah, I mean,
Like where you are like, I shouldn't be rooting for this
Yes.
person. They're a horrible person. Yes.
when they make,
Love
but they
a show
somehow
like
find
that.
ways to make them relatable.
Yes.
I mean, it's one of the greatest shows ever made. Yeah, it's
That would be
They
one
did-
of my honorable mentions.
Really?
Definitely worth a watch. Yeah.
yeah.
I have an honorable mention similar to where you shouldn't be rooting for this person, but you are. And yeah, it's the same thing. I
Yeah.
love that.
But I've always been, I was always kind of partial to mob movies, and so having a mob TV show, I fell right into it. But the way they did it, the way they made it like a everyday type of thing, like it was. I mean, with a TV show, this is kind of one of the reasons why I kind of like TV shows more than movies, because you can get yourself attached to people. You get to spend longer with them. Where
Yeah.
in a movie you're kind of limited to 2 or 3 hours, depending on how long it is. And so you kind of feel like these characters, and Sopranos was like the first show to do that. Like where I felt like, and then it was like one of the first shows where like you really can't get too attached to them because they're eventually going to get murdered.
Oh, so do you think it still holds up now? Because that's an older show.
Yes, it's
It
one of those
still
shows that
stands?
I
Yeah.
feel even holds up now. Yeah.
Maybe we'll put that on our list.
Michelle, number 2.
Okay. Gilmore Girls. Duh, do I even need to explain why? It's a show about a mother-daughter who are best friends. They have their, like, usually they're on the best of terms, but they have their moments. Ugh. Love it. Family dynamic. It's the best. I'm sure you guys have never seen not even 2 seconds of
I
it.
just watched a couple episodes with Mom.
I've
Oh, you
I've
did?
seen a couple seconds of it. enough for their rapid fire talking, the way they deliver
Yes.
the dialogue with each other,
Yep.
which just drove me nuts. So
Yeah, their scripts were always like at least 100 pages or something, which is more than a normal hour TV show or something. Yeah, so love it. Also have rewatched that over and over and over and over and over.
All right.
Yes. I don't know what's happening. David, why don't you
okay.
go?
Sorry, I'm afraid they were I was picking them up in the mic because they're all kind of yelling and talking very loudly. All right, Dave, go ahead. Number 2.
Number 2, Nip Tuck.
Oh,
Great,
I've never seen it.
great show. If you've never seen it, it was way ahead of its time with talking about social issues and stuff like that. Just good drama.
Can I ask a question? Is this like a medical drama? I know nothing about Nip Tuck.
It's about 2 friends
Yeah.
that run a plastic surgery business.
Okay.
And they start, I think, in LA, and then in later seasons they move to Miami.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically a soap opera.
Oh,
but
okay. Okay.
there's a whole. I mean, there's like a lot of sex, but there's a lot of like. It was an FX show.
Okay.
Um, I don't know how to describe it. It gets over the top at times with a lot of different stuff, but it's just. I think you'd actually really like it.
Okay. I'll have to look into that too.
Yeah.
I assume you're gonna
They
email us a copy of these lists, Dana, so that I can reference
Oh,
for.
well, I'll leave it. I'll leave it on the. I'll leave it on the document for now, and you
Okay,
can kind of go over it.
perfect.
Is it my turn?
It is.
It's your turn.
So my number 2 might surprise you that it's not number 1, but my number 2 is The Office.
Oh. I don't even know what to say to you right now.
I mean,
The Office didn't even make my top 5. It is an honorable mention, but yeah.
Dave.
I mean, 9 seasons, great acting, very very funny, solid show
Yeah.
all the way through the run.
oh
I
my
know
god.
I could go on about The Office. It's one of my favorite shows of all time. It's me and a couple members on the school committee. We make Office references all the time. I mean, it's
So can I piss you all both off really, like even more? I was on Facebook doom scrolling, and one of those memes came up where it had pictures of all the Office characters, and it's like, you have to fire 2. Who do you fire? My picks would be Jim and Pam
Because they're in a relationship?
because they're just and I
distracting
think
to The Office.
they're more. Maybe it's just because I'm thinking about it too, like much like a manager. They're like so toxic when you really get right down to it. The two of them and their dynamic with each other, like they've been a problem for the workplace since like day one.
Oh my god.
I
But I
mean,
would
Jim
also-
did. After all, Jim did make unwanted advances to Pam at the end of season 2.
Yes, he did.
I mean,
Yeah,
he should have been
you're-
Me Too'd.
If you're looking at it from an HR standpoint, there's really not many people that should still be working in that office.
That's
but
very
yes, they should have moved.
I mean,
granted, they're in different departments, but one of
Dwight-
them really should have transferred
Yeah.
to another.
Dwight fired a gun in the office. And Dave's like, let's fire Jim and Pam.
and started a fire.
I would
Can't
fire
start-
Dwight too. I would fire
or,
Dwight. too.
fire drill. Oh my god. Well, obviously the number one for me is The Office. I mean, I you have to really push through season 1. Mike thinks season 1 is the best. I usually
think it's hilarious.
will skip through some of season 1. One of my favorite gags is the Jello in the the stapler in the Jello, which is season 1, episode 1. But I just think it gets better and better. Even after Steve Carell leaves, I still think they did a good job with like keeping it going, and just the writing was still there. I love it. I hated how Jim acted in the final season. Like I just think he was kind of being a little selfish. And if you're in it looking at it from a relationship standpoint, like if Mike ever acted like that, or if I ever acted how Pam, I'd be like, what are we doing? We are not communicating. What is happening? But yeah, that's like the only thing I don't like about towards the end of it. But I loved it. Love that show.
Yeah. Amazing show.
The best.
Not quite my number 1, but
Great show. And again, it would be in my top 10. It just didn't make my top 5.
I can't believe it's not in your top 5. So what is your number 1? You're next, right? Dave's
I
next.
kind of want
I
to guess.
am.
Oh, can I guess? I want to try to guess.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Is it a cartoon?
No.
Okay. I don't know. Then. I was going
Is
to say
it
The
a
Simpsons.
comedy
but-
or a drama?
It is a drama, and it is from the UK.
Is it the Office UK version? Just kidding.
Upstairs, downstairs? I don't know.
I don't know.
Number 1 for me would be Peaky Blinders, which if you have not watched it,
I have not.
so I'm sure you've seen the memes, because anytime somebody puts a meme up like, if you're a king, you need a court that will support you or some crap like that, it's always a picture of like Cillian Murphy as Tommy Shelby smoking a cigarette. Like memes that people put up to make themselves sound like they're a badass.
Well, I know who Cillian Murphy is, surprisingly. So
So, Dana, have you watched it?
I have not watched it yet. I've had multiple people tell me to watch it, but I have not watched it yet.
It is. So it's basically about a family again that lives in Birmingham, in the UK after World War One. So it goes from 1919 and up to like the beginning of World War Two is sort of like how the writers envisioned it, following this family. And it just kind of, so Killian Murphy plays Tommy Shelby, who is not he. I think he's like the second oldest brother. He's got like three or four brothers. It's been a while since I've watched it. I'm about to do a rewatch, but it basically just kind of follows his family. It is without a doubt like a great, great, great show.
All right, I'll put it on the list.
So I think Dana will probably like it more than you will, Shell.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay.
And it uses, you know what it really impresses me about the show is that it uses its soundtrack to like really great effect. Like there are just some scenes where they'll just throw a song like in the like as the backdrop, and it like really adds to the atmosphere of what's going on. So yeah.
Okay. All right, Dana.
Well, my number one, my favorite show of all time. My opinion, it's
Oh,
the
I know
perfect,
the answer to this.
the perfect show. I think I was actually just having this conversation yesterday. I think it's probably the most perfect TV show, with from the way it starts to the way it ends, and that is the U.S. version, and the 2000 to 2005 version, not the abomination that was released last year on Peacock, but the original version from the U.S. of Queer as Folk.
Good
I
show.
think it's something that Michelle's seen.
Yep,
David,
I've seen
David
it twice.
probably
I have rewatched
never
it
has
as
and
an
never will
adult.
see. I discovered this show through a friend of mine, and she was watching it during season 2, so I caught into it in season 2. I still remember the first time I saw it; it was like really uncomfortable. Right? It is at times graphic. I think
Yep.
people, if you are the type of person. It's a show where all the main characters are gay. If you're the type of person that is uncomfortable with gay people, uncomfortable with gay hand holding or gay kissing, you are not gonna like this show
is
at
not
all.
for you.
Because there is simulated butt sex and oral and lesbian sex and everything in between. I mean, it's not sex, but the thing about it, and the thing that helped me get over it the discomfort at first about it, is it's not sex for sex's sake. It's not like gratuitous sex. It's storytelling through sexuality. This is the first show in the history of television, especially in America, where the main characters, except for one of the characters' moms,
Yep.
were all gay. And it's the first show in the history of television where the characters were actually real human beings that had depth. They weren't cartoons or eunuchs or everything else that even they still do to gay characters today. It's the first show that ever did it, that ever had the balls to do it. It's probably the only show that's going to do it for the foreseeable future, especially in today's political climate. It was so accurate to the time, but so far ahead of its time of the things it covered, from gay bashing to the political climate of gay marriage rights and gay
Brian King.
child adoption, from the terrorist attack at the gay club, which happened 10 years before an actual terrorist attack happened in the U.S. at Pulse nightclub. It was so far ahead of its time with the subjects they covered, the AIDS, scares and stuff like that. They covered every subject that faced the LGBTQ community. And they did it in a way where the characters, you got yourself attached to them. And that was what made me attached to the show, was like the characters themselves.
Love that show.
Because immediately I identified with Brian in one way, because he had this really bad relationship with his father, who was, basically told him he should die after he came out to the closet with him. But he had this really bad relationship with his father, so I identified with the daddy issues, which is a big reason of why Brian was the way he was. I identified with Ted, who was like really down on his like self image and stuff like that. I identified with all the characters,
Yeah,
even
I
Emmett.
love that show.
I mean, so much of
So
that
good.
show, and I know it means so much to like the LGBTQ people that have watched it, and it's finding a new audience. But me, as a heterosexual person, it meant something to me. And maybe it's just because I'm okay with that stuff. I can get over that stuff. It takes a lot to make me uncomfortable and disgusted. And I think some people would probably be disgusted by some of the stuff they see.
Yeah,
in
it's
it,
very graphic.
but,
Have you ever heard of it, Dave?
I've heard of it. Why do you
Oh,
guys
okay.
think I would never? You said, Dana, like Dave will probably never watch this. Why?
It it's not a show that most straight men would watch. It's just not. It's really not. You have to be really comfortable with yourself to
Yeah, I rewatched it. It was on, I think, Netflix, right?
yeah.
Like within the
I think
last
it's
couple,
still on there.
within the last 5 years, because I watched it somewhat recently. Because I had watched it in high school with you. I was like maybe a junior or senior, and then I found it, and I'm like, I really liked that show. I'm gonna
But
rewatch this.
I mean, it quickly became one of Sarah, my best friend Sarah, who we lost in December of 2020. And it quickly became one of her favorite shows. We used to watch it together, which is I attached. Do you guys have that scene I attached?
Yes, I do have it.
Did you see that scene, Dave? At the end of the
End of the doc.
document?
Oh, I don't think I saw it.
No. Shelly, you want to do it with me and you?
Sure.
All right, I'll be Michael and Ted, okay, and you can be Emmett.
Okay, I'll be Emmett.
Okay, so
We're gonna act out a scene for you.
yes, we're gonna act. So this is the moment that when I saw this. So it was probably like my second or third time actually seeing this episode. It was my first time watching it with Sarah, and it was like basically when I saw what it meant to her. This particular scene, when I saw what it meant to her, that's the moment it became like. From that moment on, it was my favorite show. And this is like my favorite scene from that show. It's one of my favorite scenes from the show because of the moment. But so to give you a background, Emmett's a character in the show in the friend group. I mean, this show is about friends and family, and they're all kind of family. But Emmett is like the self-described queen of the group. Basically, he is the most for the run of the show. He is the one who, in most cases, aside from some rough patches for him, he's the one whose flame burns the brightest. But in the first season, he has an AIDS scare, and he promises God if he doesn't have AIDS or HIV, then he'll never be with a man again. So he tries to go to a gay conversion group. And he's like swearing off his friends. He has a straight relationship with a woman that goes like horribly wrong. It's a very tough storyline to get through, but super important as well. So that sets up this scene. So his friends try to go to the conversion group to try to take him back. So Michael shows up and says, he's super uncomfortable. He sees Emmett standing there with his girlfriend, and he goes, maybe we should go.
Well, this is a surprise. Welcome to See the Light.
With the way some of these people are dressed, they should change it to turn off the light.
So, what is this? Some like intervention? You're going to kidnap me and throw me in the back of a van? I'm telling you right now, I'm not getting in the back of any van.
There is no van.
I don't get a van? I think at the very least you could rent me a van.
It's just us, okay? And we came here. I don't know what we came here for, but we tried talking to you. We tried reasoning with you. We sent a porn star. Oh, it's $1,000. It's okay. Just let it go. We just wanted you to know that we still love you. Maybe not as much as Jesus, but almost. And we're going to miss you. Especially the way you dance with your hands above your head and your Liza impersonation. That's the way I'll always remember you.
Thanks, but I don't think God appreciates it quite as much as you do.
I think God appreciates it even more because he created you in his image. At least that's what I was always taught. And since God is love and God doesn't make mistakes, then you must be exactly the way he wants you to be, the way he intended you to be. And that goes for every person, every planet, every mountain, every grain of sand, every song, every tear, and every... We're all his, Emmett. He loves us all. I watched that scene. I was watching that show, and I was watching that scene with Sarah, and I looked over, and she was like, Sarah was not a super emotional person. She was fun-loving. She liked to have a good time. I looked over at her, and she was like tearing up. I'm like, are you okay? And she said, I just wish something like this existed like 10 years ago. Because she had spent so much she was in the closet until her 20s. She spent so much of her life like hating herself, basically. So seeing what it meant to her to have like a show with characters that she identified with, like it's knowing what it meant to like my best friend and people just like her and other friends I had, like it's just, super, just such a good show. Such a good show.
It is a good one.
All right.
Well,
So I want to
I,
recap the
wa-
shows here. Go ahead,
I
David.
just wanted to throw out a couple honorable mentions of shows
Same.
that people should
Okay.
check out. So obviously, one of my honorable mentions was The Office.
Mm-hmm.
um, another one would be The Shield, which
Oh.
at a very very good show. If you haven't watched it, it's about a corrupt anti-gang police unit. Um, Great show, very difficult to watch. They at times they do not shy away from some pretty horrendous stuff that people do to each other. So
Really?
just
Okay.
know that going in. Like the subject matter, it's it's pretty disquieting, but still awesome show. Breaking Bad is another one
Oh
that
yeah.
made the honorable mention. Although I will say Walter White is a sociopath and he
Yep.
is the villain. He's not an anti-hero, he's a villain.
I hope
Um,
you are ready to be so. You have to know going in that you're going to be so depressed watching each
yeah,
episode, though. It's
yeah.
some of it is so hard to watch.
Oh,
Oh,
absolutely. But still a great show.
yes. It's
Another
that's in Mike's
yeah.
favorite.
Another one, kind of out of left field. It only went for 2 seasons because it was too expensive for HBO to produce. Was Carnival,
Mm-hmm.
which is about a traveling carnival in the 1930s Dust Bowl during the
Oh.
Depression, and it's kind of supernatural-ish. And they set up all these different mysteries, and season 2 ended on like a major cliffhanger, and then
Ugh.
it cost, every episode cost between $1 and $4 million to make, which back in like the late 90s, early 2000s was just way too much of a budget.
Mm.
Um, and I'm trying to think. I feel like there's one I'm missing.
Well, I'll
Game
give
of
you
Thrones?
mine.
Game of Thrones.
No, not Game of Thrones. Not Game of Thrones.
My honorable mentions were Modern Family. We're actually rewatching that right now, but that's a
Good show.
great show. Like 20-minute episodes. Oh, love that. I also think Phil Dunphy is probably the best TV dad ever. I'm just gonna put it out there. Succession.
Good show.
It's 4 seasons. Very well written. Obviously, it won a ton of awards, but it was really, really good. Dexter is my other one. Same thing. You shouldn't be. He's a serial killer. You should not be rooting for him, but you oddly find yourself rooting for him. It like messes with your head. But again, final season not that great. And then for newer shows, The Pit. Has
Love that
anyone
show.
watched the? So Dave, you know how you were saying that was it Peaky Blinders uses music to. I find that Pit does the opposite. It's not like your normal medical drama where like the music builds the suspense. It's very quiet. You hear the machines running, you hear chatter in the background. Like I love that show. And Mike hates medical dramas and he enjoyed watching that season. But again, it's only season 1, so you have to decide if you want to invest in that. And then Shrinking on Apple TV with Jason Segel is also very good. And that's heading into their 3rd season.
I saw the first episode of that.
Did you like it?
It was pretty
Especially
good.
because you are a therapist. Like
Yeah.
what's your take on that?
Yeah, definitely not true to life. I would not condone the things he did in the first episode.
So
Dana, do you have any honorable mentions?
my honorable mentions that almost maybe could have made the list. I talked about Downton Abbey, talked about
Yeah.
Lost, I talked about Community and why those didn't make it.
Yeah.
Also Dawson's Creek,
Oh, yeah,
huge
that's a
part
good
of my
one.
childhood, huge part of nostalgia watching that show.
Yeah. Oh, Pacey.
Fringe, another Joshua
Oh.
Jackson show. Love that
Yeah.
show. I've had a hard time revisiting that because that's what I was watching with Mom when she passed away. So, yeah, House of the Dragon is another honorable mention. I actually placed that above Game of Thrones, but yeah, that's basically. I mean, there's a ton of good shows, but
I was just gonna say I could rattle on. Even right now, I've thought of 3 more that I'm like, oh, I should have mentioned that. Like those are good too. That's good too. This is good. Like there's so many good.
I mean, for comedies,
shows.
Tires is Tire. We just finished season 2 of Tires, and that is crawling up there for me on Netflix. The Shane Gillis show, hilarious.
Oh, I know. And like The Bear. Do you guys watch The Bear
Haven't seen
on
that.
FX? Oh yes, Chef. Oh, it's so good. Like that, White Collar, Leverage, Suits. I mean, I could go on and on. It's again, TV
Leverage is very good
junkie.
too. I missed that. Like that show. a lot, too.
Yeah, that was a good one. I didn't watch the reboot though. Oh, okay. So what? Now we're on to
Our last category,
movies. Okay.
top 5 movies.
I mean, I think everyone knows my number one. We did a whole podcast about it.
That's true.
We did indeed.
We'll build suspense in case we have new watchers and listeners that haven't seen that episode
Oh,
yet.
okay, okay. So, and again, no particular order. Crazy Stupid Love. We'll put as my number 5. Love that movie. Love Steve Carell. Love Ryan Gosling. Great cast.
Okay.
All right. So obviously my number one is firmly fixed in position. The rest, the other four, no particular order. But number 5, Tombstone.
Never seen it.
What? It's a Western for people who don't like Westerns.
Okay.
So many. You've never seen Tombstone?
No, don't even know what it's about. Is it from like the 70s or 80s? It seems old. Is it old? It seems old.
Stars Kurt Russell, Sam Elliott, Bill Paxton, Val Kilmer, R.I.P. Powers Booth. I mean, there's like a ton. I can't believe you haven't seen. Dana, have you seen Tombstone?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
Okay. There's a ton of great lines.
Not on my top 5 list though. Sorry.
There's a ton of great lines, and just
Okay.
if you watch it, you would like it.
Okay. I'll put
I
it
feel
on the
t-
list.
I just want to make clear. I want to clarify whether we want to, because as we get through this list and these lists that we're going through, we're not saying these are like the greatest of all time. We're saying these are our personal top 5s, and then we're seeing if any of these we can come to a consensus on, which is why we have our SibRiv approved list, which we don't really have anything yet, right? Have we got anything that's SibRiv approved?
Just The Office.
Tom Brady.
The Office.
Tom Brady.
Oh no, because
Tom Brady was the only.
approved,
Everything
all
else was
three.
honorable
Yeah.
mentions. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we're having a tough SibRiv approved. Not many things we can come to on a
Unanimous
it's all of our
decision?
favorites. So mine,
Yep.
like David said, no particular order. I'm gonna go with Saving Private Ryan.
Oh, that's a good movie. Yep.
Good choice.
I actually saw that in high school, like in a classroom. They played that for us.
So I was torn because more recently, it's going to be one of my honorable mentions. There's another war movie that's I'll give an honorable mentions. I'll wait for my honorable mentions. But there's another war movie that almost made it, and I was torn. I was like, no, I just think over time, Saving Private Ryan has held up to me. So Saving Private Ryan is going to be on my list.
All right, my number 4, the Barbie movie, and I actually have my Barbie shirt on today. Love that movie. I know it's
How many
somewhat
times-
new, but
How many times have you seen it?
4, and I'm on a rewatch right now as I'm walking on my walking pad. That's my movie right now.
Okay.
Yep. And I have the song that Ryan Gosling sings
I was just going to say
on
you
my
have
Spotify.
two Ryan Gosling
Yeah.
movies in a row. What's
I
your
just
next one?
love it.
Stay,
I don't know what that
and then
is.
Notebook. They're all Ryan
No.
Gosling movies.
Notebook is not on my list.
Stay is the one that the movie is basically all in his head.
Oh yeah, no.
Spoiler alert.
All right, Dave.
So this one, it's not a movie I can watch over and over and over again. It is a war movie. It just, I don't know. It like I watched it and it like really hit hard. 1917.
Okay, that's the movie I was talking about. I'm going to put that on honorable mentions because that's one of my honorable mentions. That almost knocked
Yeah.
Saving Private Ryan off for me.
It's a pretty incredible movie, especially the end, which was just really intense. And it doesn't seem like it would be intense, like if I was to describe it, but just that whole scene and just the way that they filmed it without any cuts
Yeah,
from start to
it's
finish.
like a
That's
2 hour
like
entire
my
anxiety
movie.
attack.
favorite thing about that movie.
Yeah. It's like a 2 hour anxiety attack. That's the way I describe it. But one you can't look away from. Like you just have
Yeah,
to know.
I mean-
You just,
So it's like I said, it's not like an entertaining movie that I'd want to watch all the time, but it's just like as cheesy as it sounds, like powerful is the only
Yeah.
Like even in, the way it just like it has this sense of dread and tension, like when they're and Shell, have you seen it?
I have not, but Mike has told me about it.
Okay. Yeah. So basically about two guys, two soldiers, they find out about an attack that a unit doesn't know anything about that is coming from the Germans, and the story is just about them trying to make it to warn about this intelligence that they received. And one of the guys, his brother, is in that unit that right? Am I remembering that right? It
Yes.
was like his
Yep.
brother. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But there was just the way the movie like it had like scenes of tension where you're kind of like waiting for something to happen or wondering if something's going to happen, and then there were like quiet moments. Like I I don't know why, but one of my favorite scenes in that movie is when like the guy's singing in the forest and they're all just kind of resting, and it was just like it was a good counterpoint to the rest of the movie of like I felt like I had a real experience of like what it was like for somebody to actually be in World War One, like from the constant anxiety to the moments where you can just kind of relax a little bit to like the out and out, the shit's hitting the fan at the end of the movie. Like it was just an incredible movie. So
Yep. Definitely an achievement of cinema, that movie. So we'll put that on the honorable mentions. My number 4, once again, in no particular order, I'm going to go with Empire Strikes Back. Contrary to David's opinion, the best Star Wars movie. So much is unveiled in The Empire Strikes Back.
You want my next one?
Yeah, because I don't feel like fighting with Dave.
Inception.
Good choice.
I thought so.
You want to describe why it's on your top 5 lists?
I think it's the ending. Actually, it's very open to interpretation. Of whether you think is it a toggle? That's the word they use. No, what is that? I forget the name. But it's spinning.
the spinning top.
Yeah,
spinning
the
top.
spinning top, and it like starts to wobble, but then it doesn't fall. So it's up to you to decide. Like, do you think he's dreaming or not? Do you think this is real life? Do you think? Yeah, I just like the fact that you kind of determine how you want the movie to end. And I mean, Christopher Nolan, right, is like incredible, but yeah.
All right, Dave.
Number 3 for me would be Goodfellas.
Never seen it.
Uh,
I have a lot of catching up to do on movies
Pretty
and
much.
TV, apparently.
Pretty much every actor that was in Goodfellas showed up in The Sopranos.
Yeah. Goodfellas also my number 3, so I'll just get that out of the way.
Oh, there you go. We have an honorable mention for the group, right?
Should be
2 out of
super
3.
approved, but my sister hasn't seen it before.
Yeah. Is that have Marlon Brando in it? Is he in that one?
No.
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 Okay.
Ray Liotta, Joe Pesci,
Well, yeah.
Joe Pesci's mom, the painter.
Sure.
Robert De Niro. Fantastic movie. Excellent movie.
Absolutely, yeah.
Lorraine Bracco, super hot in that movie.
Sure. My number 2 is The Bourne Supremacy. Really all the Bournes, but I think I like the second one the best. And I just
Why the second one?
well, I just think because there's a little bit more interaction between like the government and him, versus like they're trying to catch him, but now it's like they think he's a threat, and I don't know. I love a good action movie. I love Matt Damon. I love when people can just like kick ass, and that's all Jason Bourne does in all these movies. Like I just love it. And then the final scene of the movie, of course, is, just the best. When he's like watching her through the thing, and he's like, "You look tired. Get some sleep." Something like that.
You don't
Like,
want to act that one out too?
Yeah, that's all right. We acted out the other one. That's all right. But yeah, that's a really good I mean, like I said, all the Bournes are really good. Minus the Jeremy Renner one. I didn't love that one, but
Way to throw shade at Hawkeye.
well, I love him, but not for Bourne. I just like for me, Bourne is Jason Bourne
Matt
is
Damon.
Matt Damon.
Yeah.
So
Which is funny because prior to Bourne, you never would have seen him as an action. You never would have thought of him as like an action star. If you think
no,
about
yeah,
it.
yeah.
All right, Dave.
All right. Well, you guys might be surprised, but no Star Wars movie made my top 5.
Okay.
Yeah, Return of the Jedi would probably be in my top 10.
Okay.
That would be one of my honorable mentions. But my number 2, Gladiator.
Never seen it.
Oh my!
I've seen bits and pieces of it. Like, because Mike will have it on, it'll be on TV, or he'll just have it on watching it. So I have seen small clips of it.
I'm a sucker for anything having to do with the Roman Empire, and Joaquin Phoenix puts in a great performance in this movie.
I have heard that.
I would say he probably steals the show, and he is somebody that you just love to hate.
Dana?
It is not historically accurate. Let me just throw that out there. But
I love things having to do with the Roman Empire as long as it's false.
well, I mean, it was Hollywoodized. So Marcus Aurelius really did have a son, Commodus, who was an emperor, and Commodus actually did fight as a gladiator, but they were always like staged for him to win in real history. So yeah, but
My number 2 is Heat.
Oh, you got 30 seconds. Right? Isn't that the
Yep.
line from... Yeah.
Yep.
I have seen that movie.
that is one of my honorable mentions. Definitely.
Should we put that on the honorable
Li-
mention list?
Yeah, let's put it on the
Yeah,
honorable
it's a good one.
list.
Definitely worth
That-
a watch.
That shootout
I mean,
scene.
the shootout.
man.
I was just gonna say
Yep.
the shootout scene is enough to put it in my top 5. That is
Yeah.
intense. It is. I mean, the whole story is like incredible, and juxtaposing Al Pacino and Robert De Niro's characters against each other is pretty cool. Al Pacino walking in on his wife cheating on him. I mean, just everything about that movie.
Everything about that movie,
Crazy.
yeah.
Right. I just love that movie. It's and that shootout scene is like insane.
Yep.
She's got a great ass, and you got your head all the way up it.
I was waiting for one of you to say it. It's literally when you say Heat and you talk about this movie, it's that scene and the shootout scene. That's all anyone can like quote or talk about.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
A drum roll for Michelle.
Yeah, because it's such a surprise. Remember the Titans. And we did a whole podcast about why it's my favorite, so check it out.
So we're not going to elaborate on it at all.
No, it's based on a true story. I love every minute of it. That's enough. It's my
Okay.
favorite. It's my top 5. That's all I'm gonna say.
My favorite movie
Yeah.
is not based on a true story, but it is, again, great soundtrack, great musical score, really atmospheric, and just a movie that I fell in love with from the first time I saw it in the theater back in May 1994. And I saw it, I don't know how many times that summer. Well, probably at least 5. Everything about that movie just hits on all levels for me.
Well, you got to say what the movie is.
He's assuming because I typed it that
I know.
everyone's going to know.
Yeah, so it's The Crow. It's The Crow. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I saw Dana type it and I thought, yeah.
Wasn't that we lost him, right? Because of
Yes,
a
that was
stunt
Brandon-
gone wrong.
Yes, Brandon Lee. And I remember actually when that movie came, do you guys remember, I'm sure, the Brockton Enterprise? I'm sure do they even print that anymore? Is that
It's
paper
just
I think
still
online.
there's an
Yeah.
online.
Just
yeah,
online
it's-
now, I
yeah.
think.
I mean, I did, because this is pre-internet, right? So I learned about that this movie was coming out through the Enterprise because they ran an article on the fact that Brandon Lee had died on set.
Mhm.
And it was kind of shocking, and there were conspiracy theories about like, was it something intentional? Um,
Really?
it really kind of sucks because like you don't know how somebody is when you see them in interviews, but I have the on the DVD that I had, and now I have it on Blu-ray, but they had interviews with him on set where he's talking about the movie and stuff, and it's like he just seemed like such a nice guy, like just like a genuinely nice guy, and just the way he was talking about the story and like what drew him to it, I'm like, oh, this seems like it's not like today where you have a lot of actors out there kind of self-absorbed.
Mm-hmm.
Half of them seem like they don't like the source material or the role of what they're playing, and this was like back in the days where actors actually seemed to care about their work and what they were doing, and that was definitely Brandon Lee with this movie. And it was they were saying in the lead up like this is going to make him a superstar pretty much.
Wow.
And then he was like, because he'd been in some movies before, but this was like his big breakout starring role. But yeah, everything. Great lines of that movie too. Great characters. Michael Wincott played Top Dollar, who's like the head gangster bad guy. He's got like the voice. Yeah, and my favorite line in that movie is he's talking to his sister, and he's got like this little snow globe thing. And he's like, Dad gave this to me on my 6th birthday. He said, childhood's over the moment you know you're going to die, which I just thought was like,
Oh my god. I haven't seen that movie, and I think
+1 on the soundtrack. The soundtrack I used to listen
the
to
sound,
over and over
the
and
sound,
over and over
the
again.
soundtrack is awesome. And the score, like the musical score itself, Graham Revell's score is also like really good. As a side note, my dad's advice to me when I was 6 years old was never trust a woman.
Oh.
So there you go. Yeah.
Happy Father's Day, everybody.
Happy Father's Day, everybody.
Yeah, Happy Father's Day. My advice from my father was, who are you? Happy Father's Day!
Yeah,
I don't have daddy issues at all. Not me.
I'm actually surprised no one had Field of Dreams in their list for
That was going to be
top.
one of my honorable mentions, but
Oh, okay.
Hold on. I can't let the Father's Day stories go. Another Dad of the Year moment is the first time I had lobster. The very first time I had lobster was because Dana and I's dad got into a fight with Mom because he had done some painting or something for the library and had been paid $100, and she wanted to use it for bills. He got into a fight with her, and to piss her off, he took me to the Tall House and ordered lobster, and that's what he used the money on.
Oh my god. Yeah, don't pay bills. That's silly. Bills are for chumps.
So no daddy issues here.
no, absolutely not.
God. Okay, let's get this train back on the track. Where are we? I think Dana, yours,
Yeah.
which we know, but our listeners may not.
Yep. So my favorite movie of all time is V for Vendetta, which is based on the graphic novel from the 80s about a.
Was that Alan Moore? Was that one of his?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And it's. Where's my copy here? Right here. And actually, I have a copy for Dave if he doesn't have it because I got 2 copies of that book.
Oh, I actually have never read it. So,
But okay, well, because you weren't a big fan of the movie, but yeah, the movie, I love the movie. Hugo Weaving is fantastic as V. It is just incredible, I think, to watch. The score is fantastic. The acting is phenomenal. The story is great. It feels relevant to the time.
I've never seen it.
I can't believe you haven't seen it. Has Mike seen it?
Yes.
It's on the.
think so.
It's on. I think it's on his Z-Flex thing. So you
I was
should
gonna
watch it.
say, I'm sure he has it.
I actually think you would like it. It is a little violent, but I think you would like it.
Yeah.
The story itself. Yeah, I love that movie. From the moment I saw it, it was one of those things. As soon as I saw it, I was like, this is my new favorite movie. And that was, mid 2000s, and it's been my favorite movie ever since.
Yeah, it's hard to pick a favorite or a top five because there's so many genres. So it's like,
Yeah.
do you put a comedy in? Do you put drama? Do you put action? We all could probably come up with a top five comedy, top five
Yeah.
drama, top five. It's hard to
Well, that's why I
pick
was
a
saying,
top
like,
five.
my top ones were all definitely my favorite of the very favorite, and then everything else was just kind of like I kind
Yeah.
of feel the same about them all.
Yeah, I have one, two, three. I have five honorable mentions
All right, go
that I
for it.
was like, oh, I'm like, I love
Go
that
for it,
movie.
because if
But
we have similar ones, I'll put them on the honorable mention list.
okay, I have Accepted.
Okay, I don't have that.
Oh, okay, with Justin Long. Great movie if you're a person that maybe college isn't for you. Life is not over. Watch that movie. Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
I do have that.
Again, I really think I'm a Jason Segel fan. I think we
I'm
have
gonna put
all
that on there.
decided.
That is a fantastic comedy.
Love that movie. And I love
Actually,
Kristen Bell.
you could make that Cibriv approved because that is also one of my honorable mentions.
We got one.
I know. Is that technically breaking the rules? But because we all have it on that list, we'll do it. All right.
Inside Out, which is a animated movie, but it's a great movie. Love, Simon. Have you guys ever seen that?
Nope.
Oh, it's so good. And Tower Heist. Have you guys ever seen Tower Heist? Great comedy. So funny. That is definitely a rewatchable, so funny.
Mine, I have 1917, which I added because Marriage Story almost made my list.
Oh, yeah, that's a good
It
one.
is. The acting is probably the best acted movie I've ever seen.
That was good.
I mean, it is incredibly on point.
Did you see it, Dave? No.
It's a tough one to get through. It's a tough one to get through, but the acting is like so incredible. Another tough one to get through. Manchester by the Sea. That was on my honorable mention list too.
I'll never
love
watch
that
it
movie.
again.
Love that movie. I'll probably never watch it again.
Once
but
was
it's
enough.
just such a powerful movie. It's one of those movies that to this day sticks with me. Casey Affleck.
Yeah, Michelle Williams.
Michelle Williams. Is there a movie that she's been in? I don't think there's a movie she's been in that I've seen that I haven't liked her scenes. She
talk about
steals every
underrated.
scene.
Yeah, I
mean,
think
she
she's
is
really
incredible.
underrated.
She was incredible in that movie. She's incredible. She's not in it that long, but she is unbelievable in that movie for the time she's in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that movie to this day sticks with me.
Oh.
To this day sticks with me.
Yeah. What is that? All your honorables?
That was pretty much all that made my
That was
honorable
it?
mention
Okay.
list. Yeah.
So
Dave?
I've got a ton of. So obviously Heat. We talked about Heat.
Yeah.
Return of the Jedi didn't quite crack my top 5. Fight Club, another movie that I really really like. I love. Do you not like that movie?
I hate that movie. I think everyone before I watched it had talked it up, so I was like expecting this great movie. And then I watched it and I was like, this is it? This is what everyone is all freaking out about? This movie? Mike was like, what are you talking about? He's like, everyone loves this movie. I'm like, not this person. I'm like, oh, this is horrible. I'm like, is this movie done? Do we have to keep watching? Can I do something else? He was like, just watch till the end. I'm like, I hate everything about this.
It's got to be a guy's movie.
I think so.
So it's kind of interesting you say that because at the time we came out 99. I remember seeing previews for it every time I went to the theater and thinking this movie looks like it's going to be freaking stupid. Like I had,
because it is freaking stupid.
I expected it to be terrible, and then I gave it a shot, and I'm like, this movie is fucking incredible. It is awesome.
No,
anyway.
Maybe it was just a bad day for me. Maybe if I rewatched it, kind of now knowing how it is going to end, I could maybe look for things I didn't see the first, whatever, some bullcrap. But I did not like it at all.
Well,
gross.
I don't want to keep dropping F-bombs, so moving on to my other honorable mentions. Movie I've loved since I was a kid, Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh, I love that movie.
I love that movie.
Love that movie.
Another Kurt Russell movie, The Thing. Great movie. And The Thing is a movie that, when I saw it, like when I was a teenager, I'm like, yeah, it's okay. The more I watch it as I get older, the more I appreciate it. It's just one of those movies for me.
My only Kurt Russell movie I've ever seen is Overboard.
Interesting.
And I watched it with mom and my dad on a like Friday night when I was in high school. It came on TV, and I was like, "Well, this is old. I'm gonna go to my room." And mom was like, "No, no, no! Like, just try it. I think you'll like it." I'm like, "No, this is old and stupid." And then I really didn't enjoy watching it, but
Another great movie, Pan's Labyrinth.
Never seen it.
Awesome.
never saw it.
Dana, I think Dana, you would like it. Shell, I don't think you. I don't think you would. It takes place during World War II. With it, it's about a girl. Her dad is a collaborator with the German bad guys. I don't want to get like struck or demonetized or whatever. um, but her dad's at the Spanish government that is collaborating with them, and it's kind of like a parallel story. So there's this like dark fairy tale aspect to it of like this. She finds out she's like a princess in another world that has to do these. It's Guillermo del Toro. It's one of his movies. So it's I'm just going to give it my seal of approval. Dana, I think you'd really appreciate it. Shell, I don't think it would be really up your alley. I think you would think it's a little too boring at parts.
Okay.
And too dark at parts.
Oh yeah. So not Michelle friendly.
Not Michelle friendly.
Okay.
Mike might like it though.
Okay. He may have seen it too. I'll have to ask him.
Just a couple more. Bear with me. Starship Troopers.
Never seen it.
Very gory. Dana, I don't know what your thoughts on the movie are, but I love it. I think it's a
It's a good movie.
great movie. Very different than the book. The book is superior in a lot of ways and completely different stories.
They usually
Completely
are.
different. Yeah. But I mean, like more so, this is one of the cases where the book is like way, way on a different level than what the movie was. The Fellowship of the Ring, the first one.
I'm gonna put that on my. I had as on an honorable mention. I kind of took off the list because I was doing all three. I just did the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
I think the first one is the best of all
So
three.
I was always partial to the Two Towers, but
The trees.
that's the third one.
See, I don't even remember which one's which. It's been so
when
long.
that was when I took your father to see the third one, and
Well,
everyone
we
in the
all
theater
went.
everyone in the theater was staring at us.
Yeah, he did not have an indoor voice.
Oh, the trees.
That's literally what he did. Like every time they came on, he loved the trees. I don't know. It's the same when Mike and I took him to see the Iron Man. I think it was the second one. And he's looking at his toxicity and he's like, he keeps checking that toxicity. I wonder why. That's what he says out loud in the theater. I'm like, Dad, shh.
I have one more honorable mention. My favorite horror movie, horror sci-fi, I guess, would be Event Horizon, which probably
I've never even heard of that, but if it's
Not-
horror, it's definitely not Michelle friendly.
It's got Sam Neill and Lawrence Fishburne. Not Michelle friendly. Dana, you might like it. It's just got really cool, creepy moments in it. It's about a starship called the Event Horizon that it like folds space to like do like fast travel, and it disappears for however long. And then Sam Neill, he plays the guy that designed the engine for it and the ship itself. So he goes out with Larry Fishburne and Larry Fishburne's crew after the ship like reappears after however many years to go like board it and see what's going on. And yeah. Spoiler alert, the ship had gone to hell. So
Can I add Interstellar as a speaking of space travel?
Oh yeah.
Interstellar as an honorable mention. I
Never
love that
seen
movie.
it. Looks boring. Mike loves it. Went and
Such a
rewatched
good
it. They
movie.
re-released it in IMAX
Such a
or
good
something. He went and watched it.
I actually think you'd like it, Chili.
Boring.
Really?
okay. So I did learn
Sci-fi
something
is
today.
not for me.
It's not really sci-fi though.
That's what Mike says, but I don't believe it. It happens in space. How is
No,
it
it's
not like
really
a sci-fi? How is it not sci-fi?
it's more of an action drama.
So
It's not
I
really
learned
sci-fi.
today. I learned today
What did you learn?
If Dana and Mike really like a movie that Shell thinks is super boring, I'm probably gonna love the movie.
You never saw Interstellar?
No.
I like it a lot.
Yeah,
watch Interstellar.
It's one of Mike's favorites.
I'll watch Event Horizon and you watch Interstellar, and we can report back.
Okay. Sounds good.
Maybe I'll try to.
I'll watch Pan's Labyrinth too. I gotta watch that too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
I'm gonna need a list. Send me a picture of your lists, and I'll see what I am willing to check out. Like Goodfellas, I'll watch Goodfellas.
You watch Goodfellas, but you won't watch Interstellar? I feel like Interstellar would be more of a Michelle movie than Goodfellas. Ask
I
Mike.
don't know,
Mike's seen
like
both, right?
Floating through spaces, ugh, boring. I'll ask Mike. I don't know if he's seen Goodfellas, but I will ask him what he thinks.
It's a
I will
father.
like better.
It's a father and daughter story. That's what Interstellar is. It's a father-daughter story.
Well, then I probably don't want to watch it. I mean, I'm gonna text her right now. What would I like better? Interstellar or Goodfellas? I actually don't know if he has seen Goodfellas.
Oh, really?
I'm not sure.
has
I'm
to have
sure
seen
he's
Goodfellas.
seen Goodfellas.
I'm not sure. We'll see if he texts me back. Oh,
And
anyway,
we should make David watch season 1, episode 1 of Queer as Folk and report back. The first line of the show. The thing you have to understand is it's all about sex.
it's about people.
tracks.
It's
Something-
really.
It's about family, love, life.
Oh, okay. I have a response. Mike says, probably Goodfellas. Interstellar is very sci-fi, but it's more emotional.
I don't think it's... I mean, I know it's sci-fi, but it's not really. It's more... I don't know. Whatever. Interesting.
Well, maybe. I mean, Mike would love it if I went downstairs right now and said, "Do you want to watch Interstellar?" He would
Or
be
The Sopranos.
like, "Yes,
What do you-
please."
Does Mike like The Sopranos?
He's never seen it. We often talk about starting it, and it's like, oh, do we want to get invested in this show? But I have heard nothing but good things about that show. So
There are very few people that have bad things to say about that show.
yeah.
And those people are dicks.
Well, I also just think too, like TV has changed so much. Like you get like 8 to 10 episode seasons now, which I hate. That's why I love Modern Family, I think, because it's like you get 24 episodes.
See, I prefer
And
the...
they're, I
I
just
prefer
love
the
it.
shorter seasons because it means every episode's important.
Oh,
When you
no.
do 22 episode seasons, you get a lot of fluff.
No, I don't mind fluff though sometimes. It depends obviously on the show. But in a comedy like that, a family comedy, there like you can watch a standalone episode. You don't necessarily have to watch the one before. So it probably depends on the type of show, but I also hate all this like, oh, we're going to release a show this year and then in 2 years you're going to get season 2 and then in 3 years you're going to get season 3. I hate that too. I want them like year after year after year because I'm watching a show now, Ginny and Georgia, on Netflix, and the little boy who was very little in season 1 looks like a teenager now, and they're still trying to make him look like a little kid. And it's just, I'm like, if you had just done it as he was growing older, we wouldn't be having this problem, like staring at this kid pretending he's younger than he is. But what can you do? I don't work in Hollywood.
David, have you given any thoughts to next week's?
It's my turn again already.
Yep.
Well, I have been thinking about it. Part of me really wants to kind of talk about the fact that the world is like going up in flames right now and have another political discussion. Just like with all the protests and then what's going on in the Middle East and, or we could advise the internet again.
Advising the internet are my favorites.
I
love
like
those ones.
advising the internet. Yeah.
I
do too.
love those ones.
Or we could watch Dana's favorite movie and then have a political
Oh yeah.
conversation.
It's your pick.
It's-
David.
I was gonna
It's your
say,
show.
it's your
You
pick.
have the final say. It's your show. You get to
All
decide
right,
your
all
week.
right. You know what? Let's watch V for Vendetta and let's talk about
Okay.
let's talk about how relevant it may or may not be.
Suddenly, my brother thinks it might be relevant. Interesting.
Emphasis on the might. I think we're gonna have quite a few debates about this because I have a slightly different take on what's going on right now than a lot of people I know. So,
Interesting. Well, I'm curious to hear that too.
yeah.
All right. So I
That's
have
awesome.
some movies to watch this week.
Yeah. Well, definitely V for Vendetta.
Yes, I will put that at the top.
So stay tuned next week when we talk about V for Vendetta and its relation to today's current climate. Maybe? Question mark? I hate when people say that. Anyways, I hope everyone has a happy Father's Day, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye. Sport names
Okay.
that I know.
Everyone say hi to Caitlin. Everyone says
Hi,
hi.
Caitlin.
And she's banging my computer all over the place.